Hello, my dear students, and welcome back. I know, exams are just around the corner, but don't you worry at all. Today, we're going to dive into a chapter that's literally all around us. We're going to make international trade super fun and incredibly easy to understand.
Hello, mere pyare students. Welcome back to our revision series. Like I said, exams are near, but bilkul no fear. Come on, let's crack this international trade chapter together in our simple, easy-peasy style. Are you ready? Chalo, let's get started.
Okay, so just take a look around you right now. Your phone, your t-shirt, maybe even the breakfast you had this morning. Have you ever stopped to think about how these things, made in so many different countries, get to you so easily? Well, the one-word answer, my friends, is international trade.
Right. So here's our mission for today. We'll start with the old-school barter system, then figure out why countries even trade. We'll meet the umpires of global trade, explore those massive gateways called ports, and finally, we'll ask, is trade always a good thing? It's the perfect roadmap to get you full marks.
First up, let's jump in a time machine and go way back to the OG way of shopping. Forget about cash or UPI. We're talking about pure, simple swapping.
So the very first kind of trade was the barter system. It was super simple, just a direct exchange of goods. Like imagine a potter needs his tap fixed. He just has to find a plumber who needs some new pots, and ta-da, they just swap. Simple, right? But yeah, probably a bit tricky to find the right person every single time.
And get this system isn't just stuck in your history books. There's a big festival in Assam called the Jambil Mela, where people from different communities, even today, exchange goods without any money. It's all barter. How cool is that?
So, of course, trade didn't stay just as barter. It evolved. You had the amazing Silk Route, a massive 6,000-kilometer road connecting Rome and China for all kinds of fancy goods. But then, from the 15th century onwards, things took a darker turn with colonialism. Then came the Industrial Revolution, and suddenly, everyone needed raw materials, fast. And finally, after the World Wars, countries tried to make things fairer with agreements like GATT, which grew up to become the WTO in 1995.
Now we have to be honest here. The history of trade, well, it has some very dark and painful parts. For hundreds of years, the slave trade was a horrific reality where human beings were treated like products and sold. It's a really sad part of our history, but we have to know about it to understand how the world's economy was really built.
Okay, so we've seen how trade changed over time. But let's ask a more basic question. Why? Why do countries trade with each other at all? What's the real why behind all this buying and selling?
Okay, pens and highlighters out. This is a very important 5-mark question, okay? So, reason number 1, different natural resources. Simple. Some countries have oil, others have great soil for farming. Number 2, climate. You can't really grow bananas in the Himalayas, can you? So we get certain things from certain climates. Number 3 is culture. Think of beautiful, unique things like Iranian carpets. You only get them from there. Number 4 is economic development. Some countries are great at farming, others are great at making machines, so they trade. And finally, number 5, you need money and good transport to make it all happen.
All right, with trillions of rupees worth of goods moving around the planet every single day, you've got to have some rules, right? And someone to make sure everyone plays fair? So who's the umpire in this huge game of global trade?
And that umpire is the World Trade Organization, or the WTO for short. Its main job is to be the referee. It sets the rules and helps countries sort out their arguments, making sure trade happens as smoothly and fairly as possible.
Now for another super important idea, balance of trade. Just think of it like a country's annual report card, okay? It keeps a record of how much a country sold to the world, that's exports, versus how much it bought from the world, that's imports. Let's make this even simpler with a pocket money analogy. If you sell more than you buy, meaning your exports are greater than your imports, that's a favorable balance. It's a profit. It's like you earned more pocket money than you spent. Thumbs up. But if you buy more than you sell, that's an unfavorable balance. That's a loss. It's like you spent way more than your pocket money. Thumbs down. So here's another important question for you. Think about it. Why is it a problem if a country just keeps spending more on imports than it's earning from exports? What do you think happens? It's a huge problem, because if a country keeps having a negative balance, it has to pay for all that extra stuff from its savings, its financial reserves. In simple words, the country's piggy bank, its gullet, just starts getting empty, and that is definitely not good for the economy.
So how does all this stuff get from one country to another? Well, a huge amount of it travels by sea, passing through these massive, super busy gateways. Let's talk all about ports.
I mean, just look at this. Ports are basically the heart of international trade. They're these huge hubs where giant ships come to dock, load and unload tons and tons of cargo. In fact, how busy a country's port is tells you a lot about how well its economy's doing.
Now this table is super important for your exams, bachcho. Pay close attention. Ports can be classified in different ways. By location, you have an inland port, like our very own Kolkata port, which is on a river, not on the sea coast. Then by function, you have oil ports for petrol and diesel, ports of call where ships just stop for fuel, think Singapore. You also have Entrepot ports, which are like big collection centers. And of course, we have our naval ports like Kochi and Karwar for our amazing warships. Make sure you know this table by heart.
So we've seen how it all works, but is international trade always a good thing? Well, like many things in life, it can be a bit of a double-edged sword. Let's look at both sides of the coin. On the one hand, the good side. Trade gives us access to so many different things. It improves our standard of living, and it helps spread ideas and culture. But on the other hand, the bad side. It can make us too dependent on other countries. It can lead to pollution and the overuse of our natural resources. And sometimes there's an unfair practice called dumping, where a country sells its products super cheaply in another country just to kill the local businesses. That's not fair at all.
Phew, we've covered a lot. So before we wrap up, let's do a quick, rapid-fire revision of the key words you absolutely must know. Barter system, swapping goods. Balance of trade, import versus export value. WTO, the trade umpire. Dumping, selling goods too cheaply. And Entrepot port, a collection and distribution hub. Got it? Perfect.
And that leaves us with one big, important question to think about. You are all the future leaders of our country. So, how can we make sure that international trade helps everyone grow, especially the poor, but at the same time we also protect our beautiful planet? That's some serious food for thought, isn't it?
And with that, we're at the end of this chapter. Just remember, you are all absolutely brilliant, and you've prepared so well. So just walk into that exam hall with full confidence. All the very, very best. I know you're going to do great. Bye for now.